Welcome back. Today we're going to be covering Reflexion Go's Training Hub. Our growing library of training drills will train the various cognitive skills that you measured when you unlocked each one of our assessments. We'll cover each drill in depth, our various training modes, and guest mode. So my personal recommendation is unlock all the cognitions before you start training. As a refresher, the cognitions are under the performance rankings on the left on your dashboard, and the training drills are where you click Start Training and enter the Training Hub. The reason for this is that you can't effectively train what you're not measuring. So that's why we do an assessment of the cognition first. That way we have a baseline, then we train it, then we track performance over time, and we're able to optimize our performance that way.
Welcome to Reflexion Go's Training Hub. Cognitions you have unlocked are highlighted and will be included in your daily goals. You can unlock more cognitions by clicking Exit Training and returning to the Performance Ranking section of the dashboard.
All right, there's a lot to take in here, but let's break it down. So up top, you've got all of your cognitions, right? So you've got eye-hand coordination, inhibition, anticipation, mental flexibility, and simple reaction time. Down below, and they're all locked right now, but we'll go through each one, you have your drills. If you hover over any cognition, you'll see which drills train that cognition, and vice versa. If you hover over a drill, we'll show you by highlighting them which cognitions that drill trains. Then there are a couple different training modes, competition and training mode. We'll get into those in a second, and virtual coach, which we'll touch on later. Minefield's one of my favorites.
Minefield trains eye-hand coordination. Green targets will start appearing inside the yellow field. Each target is on a detonation timer signified by its color change from green to red. Using both controllers, move the black balls to defuse the targets by hitting them before their timers expire and they explode. The number of targets will increase the longer you stay alive. Score by defusing as many mines as possible before one explodes.
A couple tips for Minefield. So one, always stay moving. Don't ever hesitate, just keep moving on to the next target. After that, there are really a lot of strategies that can work. You can scan from side to side. You can try to carefully prioritize the most red target each time. So it's up to you. Play around and find the strategy that works best for you.
Pursue trains reaction time and eye-hand coordination. Using one controller, keep the black ball touching the target, which will try to escape. Your score corresponds to the percentage of time you are on track.
You just set a personal best. You can check your personal bests for any drill from the dashboard.
Spokes trains mental flexibility, eye-hand coordination, and anticipation. Each target is made of spokes connected to a hub. The hub is the sphere in the center. The spokes surround the hub. When you see a target, pay attention to the color of the hub. Exactly one spoke will match the color of the hub. That's the one you have to touch. The other spokes don't count. Notice that your hands are also represented by different colored spheres. It is important that you stay aware of the colors of both of your hands at all times, as they will occasionally change color. You'll know they changed when you hear this sound. For every target, identify the matching colored hub and spoke. Catch the spoke with the same color hand. All three must match to score a point. Your lives will be tracked on the screen at the back of the gym. Good luck. Change up trains inhibition and eye-hand coordination. Stand in the designated circle on the ground. Using both controllers, score points by moving the black spheres to catch only the blue targets and avoid catching the targets that turn orange. You will lose a life if you miss a blue target or catch an orange one. Keep track of your lives on the screen in the back of the gym.
Now that you've unlocked all the training drills, you can select your mode at the bottom of the screen. Training mode will use your performance in competition mode to personalize the difficulty, maintaining your flow state and optimizing your training. If you want your friends to try Reflexion Go, you can always enter guest mode by clicking the hat and glasses icon at the bottom of your screen. When you're in this mode, your personal bests and goals won't be affected.
So earlier we talked about personalization and how important it is that your training is always focused for you on your sport position and based on your current performance rankings. Training mode is using your past data on the drills in order to adapt them and keep you in that flow state, which is why it's so important that you're always trying your best and that you're not letting other people use your account, because then they might perform worse than you or better than you. And when you're in training mode or using virtual coach, which we'll talk about later, it won't really hold you in your flow state, which isn't the best for your training. So that's why guest mode is the best way to let a friend try Reflexion Go. If you're logged in and you want them to try a drill, make sure to always flip that on so that their results don't affect your data. So competition mode is the same every time, right? So you do a competition mode drill, it's always hard. You're trying to set a personal best. You can challenge your friends that way, and that's a lot of fun. Training mode is where you'll want to be most of the time. The reason for that is that training mode adapts to your abilities. So we hold you where it's really difficult for you, but also where you'll do really well. And that's called flow state, is where you feel that you're challenged, but you also feel that you're performing. And that's really the best place to be if you're trying to improve your performance. So training mode is going to be where you spend most of your time. It's up to you how you train. You can train in manual mode, where you can choose competition mode or training mode, or you can train with virtual coach. Virtual coach will always make sure that your training is most efficient, so that when you're doing that 10 minutes of training each day, that we're squeezing all the cognitions that you need into that block of time in the most efficient way possible. But if you want to choose drills yourself and do it in manual mode, go for it. If you're trying to set a personal best, be in competition mode. If you're really trying to maximize your training but still want to choose drills, training mode will do that by adapting the difficulty for you as you go. By now, you should have a pretty good sense of Reflexion Go. You've unlocked all of our assessments and all of our training drills. In part 5, I'm excited to dive into Virtual Coach. We'll talk about the details of how it works and your daily and weekly goals. See you there.